I am super excited to share this episode with you guys today. And I want to talk about Netflix. I think Netflix has a lot of similarities to self-storage. We can learn so much from Netflix and what has happened. I love delving deep into other businesses, other industries, and working out how that affects self-storage and what we can learn. Because self-storage, we're a very, very young industry. And so what I believe we have to do is look at other industries that maybe not be directly related to us, but what methods, what can we learn from the results they're getting? And Netflix is one of those such lessons. Now, this is one of the few episodes that I've done a shit ton of research for because one, I enjoy it, and two, I want to get the message out there. So I often say that how you behave in lease up is completely different as how you behave in maturity. So in lease up, we will be cheaper per square foot than when we will be when we're at maturity. And that is exactly what Netflix has done as well. But you have to be so careful. I nearly fell into this trap as well because at maturity, I increased everybody's prices by 20%. And yes, we lost a lot of customers. And it was probably on the brink of the price increase being too much. But it worked out very, very fruitful for us in the long run. We gained revenue. However, we did lose customers, but I was okay losing customers in the short term because I knew long term that my revenue would be there. However, you've got to be mindful when you're transitioning from lease up to maturity, because if you do it wrong, there is massive consequences, as Netflix has discovered. Let me just go through some things with you. Okay, so Netflix, they started streaming in 1997. They started Netflix. I've listened to every single documentary. I've listened to every single book on Netflix that I can find, and I love the story. Obviously, they transitioned into streaming, and I checked it out here. It was 2007 when they first started streaming. Now, the prices then was completely different to the prices now because they wanted to get everybody on board. They was in the lease-up stage. They was in lease-up, and so what they did was very, very cheap. I've got the Netflix price history here for you from the UK. So in 2014, Netflix announced an increase to its monthly fee for streaming movies and television shows from £5.99 to £6.99. But it also says here, but Netflix allows subscribers to keep paying £5.99 a month if they adopted a lower resolution SD. Right. So it was $6.99. It went from $5.99 to $6.99, but it kept at $5.99 if you went for standard definition instead of HD definition. And what we've got to be careful of here is not overplaying our cards. And that, for me, is what Netflix have done recently. They've overplayed their cards, and that's had a significant impact on their share price, which I'll get into. So that was the first price increase, was 2014. So that was their lease-up stage. They was at maturity in 2014. 2016 came along. Netflix raises its monthly prices for UK basic units from $5.99 to $7.49 a month. A similar price increase took place in the US. Anyone who signed up for Netflix when it launched in Britain would have received the standard package for $5.99 a month. Yeah, so it went to $7.49 per month. So it's already from 2014 to 2016. It's already gone up from $5.99 to $7.49 a month. That was for its basic package as well. In 2017, the company raised prices in both the UK and the US for the first time in 2 years. The standard package price increased by 50 pence to £7.99. For me, I still think that's an amazing deal. The premium package jumped by £1 to $9.99 a month. That just means you can have more users, etc. Netflix said at this time the price change reflected the additional content added to its service. I don't think that affected Netflix because I believe the value add that Netflix was given against the cost was we were still getting a fantastic deal. In 2019, Netflix confirmed that British customers will see the price of the standard tariff increase from $7.99 to $8.99. The premium tariff also bumped up from from $11.99. Was bumped up by £2 to $11.99. And so, again, that's okay. We can stomach that. So don't forget, it's gone up from $5.99 a month to $11.99 a month in 5 years. That is a big percentage increase. In 2021, Netflix hikes subscription fees for the UK users as the country entered its third lockdown amid the COVID pandemic. The standard package, which allows 2 screens to access an account as well as HD, was raised £1 a month from $8.99 to $9.99. The premium package, providing 4 screen access per account and Ultra HD, is bumped up by £2 from $11.99 to $13.99. The basic package stayed the same price. Now, that is interesting. So what has happened there is Netflix has seen the coronavirus come in and seen the opportunity, because it was the most popular time, but they're starting to overplay their cards. They're starting to take more than they are giving. And that is a mistake that I think that we can learn from Netflix, because we've got to be careful that when we transition from the lease up stage to maturity, that we don't overplay our cards. Now, there's a very, very fine balancing act. The great thing is that we can test this. So what I do when I'm doing a price increase, I don't just give everybody a price increase all at once. It depends on when you moved in. So for example, I increased everybody's prices over a 6-month period. And so I could see, first of all, what effect it was having on people. Were people accepting the price increase? Because I was only giving a 1/6 of my customers the price increase. And then from that, I could see if I wanted to do it for the next time and the next time and the next time and the next time. And so we've got to be very, very careful how we do it. Netflix just give it across the board. Bang. Everybody got the price increase. Here we go. March 2022, Netflix increases prices for the second time in just over a year. The basic and standard plan go up by £1 a month to $6.99 and $10.99 respectively, while the premium tier goes up from $13.99 to $15.99. That is incredible. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to pay it because I love Netflix. I don't watch it that much. I want to watch it more. I still get in massive value, but it's not what I perceive as value. It's what it's what the larger audience perceives as value. And what we can find out is we can find out by what happens to the share prices and how many customers are leaving Netflix. And so if I go over here, Netflix share price tumbled after it announced a net loss of 200,000 subscribers globally and expects to lose a further 2 million over the next 3 months. Expects to lose 2 million over the next 3 months. Its share price slid by more than 35% in early trading on Wednesday following the announcement, wiping out $55 billion. That's £42 billion off its value. Now, I've listened to so many podcasts about the reasons why. There's no doubt about it. The price increases that Netflix have been continuously rolling out have affected subscribers. And there's more and more people sharing. So Netflix really have to, for that share price to go up again, but Netflix really do have to stop people sharing. And they say they're going to do that. I think it was £160 million that they said annually that they've been losing because of people sharing passwords. We don't share passwords because we give the passwords to other people. We give them to Claire's mother-in-law and stuff, and so she uses our account, but we pay that little bit extra. So they're going to do something there. But there is lessons to be learned. I'll just give you the share price history. So in the height of a pandemic, in October 2021, the 29th of October, the share price was £690.31. And on the 25th of April, that was yesterday as of recording, it was £209.91. So it's lost. Where was it again? Yeah, it's lost almost $81 in the space of, well, a 6-month period. That is incredible. And so I think there's lessons to be learned here. We can all learn lessons here because we just got to be careful about how much price increases we put on our customers because we don't want to lose customers. I was talking to somebody who is very, very aggressive with their price increases. And I was like, well, wait a second. How does that impact your testimonials? How does that impact your reviews? Don't people? He goes, no. What I do is I actually contact them and say, listen, if I can not give you the price increase, or if I can give you 1 month free, would you take that review down? And more often than not, the customers say, yeah, okay. I'm scared to death. I'm a little bit in the middle. I am aggressive, but I'm not as aggressive as this person who does price increases. Revenue management is key to self-storage success. But for me, you've got to be very, very careful because we're playing with a pack of cards, and all of a sudden that pack of cards can come tumbling down if we don't respect the process. And so we've got to be very, very clear about our objectives and how we do the price increases. Netflix, unfortunately, I believe they've overplayed their cards somewhat because of what happened with the pandemic. They believe that because obviously the pandemic, the users increased, but once normal people with Netflix are sticky, but this new influx of customers from a pandemic aren't as normal customers, they're pandemic customers. So I don't believe they're as sticky. And as sticky, by the way, I mean a very, very low churn rate. So once you come in, you don't get churned out very much. You don't lose the customers. However, the pandemic customers, they are not the same. It was only a means to an end for them. So I believe that Netflix analyzed this incorrectly. And by the way, who am I to tell Netflix what they've done right and wrong? But big companies make mistakes all the time. Big companies make successes all the time. And it's our job to learn from other industries. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's HBO, there's Disney, there's all sorts of other streaming platforms now that are coming on board. And so Netflix haven't got the monopoly they once had. And that's, again, like self-storage, because as I found out in Beverly with my price increases, all of a sudden I had the monopoly. And price increases through. We was getting like £23 per square foot for an outdoor facility, for a container site, for crying out loud. And then Disney came along, another customer came along, as in an analogy, another competitor came along, and that meant that I had to change my model. I had to change my revenue management system because obviously people are going to leave. And I don't think Netflix really quite understood this. And in hindsight, I believe would have probably acted a little bit differently, but there's not a lot of difference between HBO, Disney, whoever else is coming out with a streaming package now, Amazon Prime. And so you've got to be very, very careful not to overplay your cards. You've got to be continuously looking at your competition, what they are doing as well. And I'm not one of these people who say you should copy your competition at all, because you need to pave your own way. You cannot just be reactive to what your competition does all the time, but you certainly need to understand them and know what they're doing and the price structure. I have emails come through once a week to tell me what Armadillo are doing, the prices. We just get them on offline. Very, very, very simple to do. And why wouldn't you do? There's a competition. And so we can learn so much from Netflix and what's happened recently. I've got 5 tabs open on my computer. No, that's the American price increase. So basically, we can learn a lot from Netflix and what happened, and them overplaying their position and not looking at the competition, not realizing the competition are coming up. And now they've almost, people are doing to them what they did to blockbusters. People are innovating. And so Netflix have to be very, very cautious and careful now. And it's going to be so fascinating to see what Netflix do next and how they stop this, I don't know, stream of people leaving, their churn rate increasing, the fact that they are losing subscribers for the first time. They reckon they're going to lose another 2 million, 3 million subscribers. That is unheard of previously. And it's probably because of them customers coming in now, were the pandemic customers. And so the churn rate is going to be higher for the pandemic customers. I love Netflix. I think it's incredibly valuable for me, especially when you compare the price to Sky or something like that. The only reason I've got Sky is because of live sport. I mean, I can't wait for tonight. Man City is going to be absolutely awesome. By the way, it's Man City when I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Anyway, guys, so hopefully we can learn a lot from other industries. We can learn a lot from what's going on around the globe in other sectors. And why wouldn't we take advantage of that? And so don't overplay our cards. We've got to have revenue management in place, yes, and we've got to make sure that we look at and see what the competition are doing. Are they coming up? Are they offering some innovative product that we're not thought of? I don't know. How can we improve? How can we continuously improve and innovate? And yeah, just be very, very careful and be very, very mindful what you do from lease up to maturity. And we're just going through that process now at Clough Road. Don't get me wrong, we're not maturity by any stretch of your imagination, but our fill-up rate is filling up fast. And so we need to slow that down a little bit and increase the price per square foot, but it's a juggling act all the time. But the great thing with self-storage is that we can test on a daily basis, or daily if you want to. I think daily is probably a little bit too short, but we can do weekly basis, we can do monthly basis. We can test the pricing structure that we have for new customers, the street rate, for existing customers. We're so lucky in this industry that we can just test, and nothing we do, if we do it correctly, can break us. All right, my friends, I love you. I appreciate you. And I will continue watching this with bated breath and listening to all the podcasts and stuff about Netflix because I'm fascinated by it. Absolutely fascinated. All right. Love you. See ya.